If you want to start an LLC in Charlotte, North Carolina, you might think filling out forms is the hardest part. But the real challenge is doing it right the first time without getting overwhelmed or spending more than you have to. So in this video, I'll simplify the process, show you how to stay compliant, and reveal the real costs that you can expect. Plus, there's one simple step that most business owners forget that can save you many headaches down the road. But more on that in a bit here. Let's first examine if Charlotte is a good place to start an LLC in the first place. Charlotte is one of the fastest growing cities in the US, just recently adding over 23,000 new residents, securing its spot as the 14th largest city nationwide. The Queen City's business climate is considered one of the strongest in the country, thanks to a skilled workforce, low 2.5% corporate tax rate, and diverse industries like finance, tech, and manufacturing. Startup founders find the area welcoming, with 90% planning to stay for its opportunity and high quality of life. If your goal is growth, affordability, and community support, Charlotte's pro-business environment really offers a good spot to launch your LLC. And first, you have to start with a name. So let's talk about the whole process for that. But before we jump too deep here into the name and everything else, here's one thing to keep in mind. So starting your business, it should be exciting, not overwhelming. But forming an LLC on your own, that can get really confusing fast, with all the legal forms, rules, and easy to miss details. Now, I will walk you through everything in this video that you need to know, but if any part of this feels too confusing, I've got a favorite LLC formation service that makes the whole process super simple and stress-free. It's guided, beginner-friendly, and it only costs $39. So if you hit any bumps along the way, just go ahead and click right up here to get step-by-step help setting up your LLC the easy way. All right, so let's get back to naming your LLC here. So picking a solid business name in Charlotte, it means following a few rules to keep you out of trouble. So first, your LLC's name, it has to be totally unique across North Carolina. And little tweaks like changing an "and" to an "and" sign or adding punctuation, they aren't enough to make your name different. Every name must end with limited liability company, LLC, or LLC. And you can't use words that might confuse the public or sound like a government agency. Think of terms like, bank or engineer or insurance without special approval. Also, double check your name's availability using North Carolina's business search before you get to attach to it, which, by the way, is linked to below, along with every other resource that we mentioned in the video. And if you want to lock down your choice for your name before filing, you can reserve your name for $30 and hold it for 120 days as well if you need to. And if you mess this step up, you might risk a filing rejection, so be sure to get it right before moving on. So next up, we'll cover one of the most overlooked roles in setting up your LLC, which is your registered agent. Now that you've got your LLC name squared away, there's something just as important to lock in, which is a registered agent. So this is the person or company that officially is designated to receive important legal and tax documents on behalf of your LLC. Now, North Carolina law requires every LLC to have one, and your registered agent's physical address will be public record. Now, you can act as your own registered agent if you live in North Carolina and have a reliable address. But heads up to that, this means that your address that you use will be listed publicly, which could lead to junk mail and privacy issues, especially if you work from home. Plus, you have to be available during business hours to receive documents, which is a big responsibility and doesn't always work out if you're busy. That's why so many LLC owners prefer professional registered agent services. Now, personally, my preferred provider is Northwest Registered Agent. They're known for their strong privacy protections, excellent customer support, and straightforward pricing, plus I've used it myself. If you hire them to help form your LLC, the cost is only $39, which is lower than a lot of competitors. Get this, you can use their business address on your public filings, keeping your address private and cutting down on spam mail. So if you want to check them out at any time, just go ahead and click right up here to learn more. Now up next, we'll talk about filing the Articles of Organization to make your Charlotte LLC official. All right, so the Articles of Organization document, right? It includes basic info like your LLC's name, the registered agent details, and the addresses of your company's offices. You'll also list the names and roles of the people that are organizing the LLC, like members or organizers. You can file this paperwork online or by mail, and the filing fee is $125 either way, and online submissions usually get processed faster. Now, if you need it done super quick, North Carolina even offers an expedited service for an extra $100 fee. Just make sure that all the information is accurate and consistent, because errors can lead to delay approval. And once it does get accepted, your LLC legally exists in North Carolina, and you're a step closer to running your business. But keep in mind that the Articles of Organization, they don't cover how your company operates day to day, and that's what the operating agreement is for, which we'll talk about here next. But filing these articles is a huge milestone that starts your legal business journey. So let's go ahead and dive into the next section here. Again, the operating agreement, which keeps your Charlotte LLC running smoothly. So your operating agreement is kind of like the rule book for your LLC. It outlines who owns what, how decisions get made, and what happens if things change, like a member leaving or you just want to bring in new partners. Now, even though North Carolina doesn't require an operating agreement by law, having one makes your business run smoother and helps protect you if there are disputes down the road. And the best part is you don't necessarily need a lawyer to create it. There are plenty of online templates that make filling one out straightforward. Or if you want to get fancy, you can use AI platforms to get personalized operating agreement templates as well, tailored for your business specifics. Now, this document stays internal, so you don't file it with the state, but it is critical to have it handy, especially when opening a business bank account or applying for your financing. So next here, we'll cover how to get your EIN, which is another key step in bringing your Charlotte LLC to life. Okay, so your employer identification number, or your EIN, you get that from the IRS. And this is basically a social security number for your business. And you'll need it to open a business bank account, hire employees, or file taxes, even if you're a single member LLC. The fastest way to get your EIN is by applying online through the IRS website, which is free, and you'll have your number in about 15 minutes. Super easy to do. Just make sure that you have all your paperwork ready so that it's quick and easy to fill it out for you. Next here, let's talk about staying compliant in Charlotte specifically, so your new business doesn't accidentally fall out of good standing. North Carolina requires LLCs to file an annual report every year by April 15th with a roughly $200 fee to maintain active status. Missing this deadline puts your LLC at risk of administrative dissolution, which can be costly to reverse. And beyond state filings, you'll want to check for any Charlotte or Mecklenburg County specific business licenses or permits that are required for your business and industry, such as health or sales tax permits. Now, these vary widely depending on your business type, so it's hard for me to go over them all here. And don't forget to register for state taxes with the North Carolina Department of Revenue as well, including sales and withholding taxes if you have employees. Now, keeping accurate records, renewing licenses on time, and filing all required reports are key habits for avoiding fines and legal headaches. So if this sounds overwhelming, again, there are services that can handle the compliance reminders and filings so that you don't miss deadlines. But staying proactive here, it really helps you protect your LLC's benefits and your peace of mind. Now, next, we'll break down the expected costs, both startup and ongoing, for running your LLC in Charlotte. Okay, so we'll start with the initial startup costs, right? So first, you have your articles of organization. That's $125. That's required and paid to the North Carolina Secretary of State. Next, registered agent service. That is optional, but highly recommended. $39 if you use Northwest Registered Agent, which helps with LLC formation. And then they give you the registered agent service for the first year for free. Then we have business license or city and county permits. That again varies by industry location, usually like $25 to $150. It's required for most businesses in Charlotte, but it just depends. Then a name reservation. This is optional, $30. This is only if you want to reserve your business name ahead of the filing. So your estimated total startup cost, most LLC owners in Charlotte can expect to spend around $150 to $300 upfront to officially launch, depending again on individual business needs and optional services. Adding, permits and licenses and such, that can increase it a little bit more. But on to ongoing annual costs. So annual report fee, that's $200, that's required, due by April 15th of each year. Then your registered agent service renewal, $125 per year if you're using Northwest Registered Agent. Then your city or county license renewals, typically $25 to $150 per year, again, depending on your business type in Charlotte. Your estimated annual ongoing cost per year, typically about $225 or $400 for the LLC that you have there. Now, again, additional licenses, permits, things like that, that can increase the prices, but this is, a good starting point. Now, again, to help with all this, I do advise you to use a service like Northwest Registered Agent, which again, you can click right up here to check out, as they'll help you stay in compliance year after year while you focus on the most important thing, which is running a profitable business. Now, if you have any questions for me or you're a little bit confused about the process, no problem. Just go ahead and drop me a quick comment below, and I will do my absolute best to help you out as soon as possible. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.